Today on Time About the Movies, Jack Sparrow is back, and he's on his own this time around in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. And Johnny Depp usually has the best parts of these movies, so you'd think a movie that's him with the focus on there and directed by the guy who did Chicago would be a match made in heaven, right? Well, prepare to be surprised. But you know what is a match made in heaven? Woody Allen's best film also comes out this weekend, and it literally is the best thing he's ever made, in my opinion. Midnight in Paris. So we'll take a look at these two films today on this May 20th, 2011. This is Time About the Movies.
Jack, have you ever seen with your own eyes the fountain of youth?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please? We know you're in possession of a map.
You could guide an expedition.
I could use a ship. What has become of my beloved Pearl? Taken. Blackbeard. The Rickon come to life. Our own ship turned against us.
Captain, I wish to report a mutiny. I can name fingers and point names.
Perfect. The fountain, is that where Jack be headed?
It is not the destination so much as the journey.
The fountain of youth. What does it require?
A mermaid, Jack.
All hands on deck! We've fallen behind. We need one mermaid.
You're killing her. I am a bad man.
Again! Fight to the bitter end!
Hardly appropriate for a first mate.
Was I the first?
It has begun.
Or part of the plan, yes? No. Have you been there? Does his face look like it's been at the fountain of youth? Depends on the light.
And welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the two films released on May 20th, 2011, and we start off with the biggest of the two, and that is the fourth installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean series on Stranger Tides. Now, this one in particular is notable because it's based off originally of a book by Tim Powers called On Stranger Tides, and it's actually a standalone sequel to the previous installments, and a lot of the characters from those movies are not back in this one. You don't have Orlando Bloom, you don't have Keira Knightley, but you do get Jack Sparrow, who's joined by Angelica, played by Penelope Cruz, in the search for the Fountain of Youth, confronting the infamous pirate Blackbeard, played by Ian McShane. And like I said before, man, I mean, when it comes to the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Jack Sparrow is the best part of these movies, at least in the original trilogy he was. So you got him. You also got Penelope Cruz, you got Ian McShane, and Rob Marshall, who has directed great movies like Chicago, Memoirs of a Geisha, Nine. I mean, you have these things that should come together so well. How can you possibly fail in this way, shape, or form? Well, it doesn't help when the script overall isn't doing the best they can. Even if, no, it's got the same writing team as the other movies, Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, it still doesn't come together well in the end. It really was a major disappointment. And let's start off with the biggest problems of it. For one thing, nobody's really giving anything to do except to just be cardboard cutout characters that these type of films have given us. And the script overall is generic, it's mediocre, and the biggest sin of all, I don't think Rob Marshall was just simply cut out to direct a movie like this. I mean, he can work well with musicals, and even something as epic like Memoirs of a Geisha. Hell, we just saw it not too long ago, a couple years ago, with his version of The Little Mermaid, which I think is actually one of the better Disney live-action remakes. So the guy is not a hack filmmaker, and I guess he did later prove that he can handle not only a great musical, but a big budget musical like that. So you think a big budget movie like this he could work his way around with, but here, it's something about this doesn't feel like, shouldn't be this difficult to direct here. And, you know, they took Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow character, the best character from the previous movies, and when you put the focus on him the whole time, he becomes one of the most annoying and most detestable characters I've seen in the movie in a long time. Like, this guy just gets on your nerves so goddamn quickly. And I guess that's what seems to happen when we see these characters in other movies. Just like, wow, I want to see more of this guy. This guy's amazing. And then, okay, here's his movie. And then the writer's just like, let's make him the most obnoxious character ever so people won't ask us to make another movie based on him. And sadly, that's what we get here. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer of a movie on so many ways, but there are positives to it. One, the action still looks pretty impressive. You know, Rob Marshall does a very good job of directing the action sequences in here. It's at least shorter than the last two movies. It isn't like one of these big, grand epics that the last two films were. But if those are the only two positives I have for a movie like this, directed by a director of an Academy Award-winning Best Picture film, we've got a problem here. We've got a major, major problem. And yeah, On Stranger Tides had the chance to turn the series around after two really lackluster sequels, but they couldn't even fix that. It's another sequel that has so much potential, and it never gives us that excitement level that the first movie had. And what you get, unfortunately, is a typical mediocre pirate sequel. And it was, it did still become a hit overall, but it still was not a big hit compared to the other two movies that had come before that, the two sequels. And the end result is a film that should have been so much better than it actually was, with the talent on board, and it just didn't come together in the end, sadly. So, hey, they'll try again 6 years later with the guys who did Kon-Tiki, and maybe they'll fix it around. Or maybe they may just go back to the regurgitated garbage they had beforehand. Will they? We'll find out in 2017 when the next film, Dead Men Tell No Tales, comes out. So, yeah. That's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. A major disappointment. But you know what wasn't a major disappointment? Our last movie. Because not only did I really enjoy this movie, not only was it my favorite movie of the year, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm, of course, talking about Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris.
Why are you so dressed up?
I was just doing a little writing.
You dress up and put on cologne to write?
Because you know how I think better in the shower and I get the positive ions going in there?
I had a private detective follow him. And what happened? I don't know. The detective agency says the detective is missing.
I love the hell out of this movie. This is a movie that's both a love letter to the way movies used to be in the 60s and 70s, and a love letter to the great literary works of the past as well. It's a movie that explores the themes of both nostalgia and modernism, something that I think most of us can really relate to. The story is simply that you have Gil and Inez, played by Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams, who travel to Paris as a tag-along vacation on her parents' business trip. Gil's a successful Hollywood writer, but is struggling on his first novel. He falls in love with the city and thinks they should move there after they get married. But Inez does not share his romantic notions of the city, of the idea that the 1920s was the golden age. And while Inez goes off dancing with her friends, one of them played by Loki, of all people, Tom Hiddleston, Gil takes a walk at midnight and discovers what could be the ultimate source of inspiration for writing. Somehow being transported back to the 1920s, where some of the decade's most well-known figures exist, including F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, Josephine Baker, Cole Porter, and many others. Gil's daily walks at midnight in Paris could take him closer to the heart of the city, but further from the woman he's about to marry. And this is a movie that, like I said, everyone I think can relate to. We're all nostalgic for something that we loved in the past, and we all have our problems with the modernized world that we're living in, especially nowadays with the way that the world is. We've become a society that's become more obsessed with what celebrities are doing that aren't really all that special, and focusing our time on not just those celebrities who shouldn't be celebrities, but clout chasers, people that are just being nuisances for the sake of being popularity. We just saw it this past year with a Minecraft movie where people were just going to the movie theater for a stupid meme and ruining everybody's experience of how it is to go into a theater. Now more than ever, I think a movie like this is more relevant than ever before. This is a film that we can all look at and easily see ourselves in the same situation that we find Owen Wilson in, or even Rachel McAdams' character. Two different generations who, one loves the nostalgic period of the past, and one just wants to move ahead with the future. We can be nostalgic about many things, but the rest of the world doesn't want to acknowledge the way things used to be and just wants to be focusing on what's popular now. And Owen Wilson's Gil character perfectly captures every one of us who likes nostalgia and how much our passion for it can sometimes make us want to go back to that time and experience it for ourselves. And while his fiancée shares the opposing end of the spectrum, focusing on the world now. It leads into the question of who's right and who's wrong in the situation. In a way, they're kind of both right. But we feel more for Gil than Inez in the way the movie plays it out, because Gil just wants a simpler life, but Inez wants the high life and to live like royalty. And with this, I think Woody Allen delivers his strongest film ever. This is a film that just is the perfect encapsulation of everything that Woody Allen does so well. And Owen Wilson gives one of his strongest performances. Rachel McAdams is usually going to be great in here. You've got a strong cast of people in here, like Corey Stoll as Ernest Hemingway, Tom Hiddleston, who I thought was playing one of the people that Inez goes out to dance with, but I don't think but he's playing F. Scott Fitzgerald. I can't remember if he does too. It's been a while since I've seen the film, but Kathy Bates as Gertrude Stein, Adrian Brody as Salvador Dali. A part of the reason I love this movie so much is because we never find out how this character is going through this journey. Like, why is he going back in time and everyone else around him isn't, except for one person, which that line from the trailer about the detective is a line that, like, I love the fact that that Kurt Fuller basically says, we hired a detective, but he disappeared last night. Where did he go? The way it's set up in the movie is so damn good. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, because you got to see it for yourself, but it reminds me a lot of Groundhog Day, where we never get an explanation of why Bill Murray keeps explaining the same day. It keeps seeing the same day over and over again. But the way the movie plays out, we really don't need to know how it's happening. Like, why is he repeating the same day over and over again? We don't need to know. We just know that he's going to be a better person by learning from his mistakes. And here, we feel the exact same way. We don't know why Owen Wilson's character is experiencing this situation and nobody else is, except for the detective. But we're so invested in it that we don't care. We just want to see him go through this adventure. And we want to go through that adventure too. You have no idea how much I want to see Paris in my lifetime. Once in my life. Like, there's several places I'd like to visit in my lifetime before I die. New York City's one. Los Angeles is one. Paris is definitely high up there. I was trying to think of some other ones too, but there probably is. I just can't think of them right now. But yeah, Paris is definitely in the top 3 places I would love to go and see one day. And I think the music in the beginning too really does set the mood for what you're about to watch. The first 5 minutes alone, where it's just music playing over these static shots of Paris, like, you get hooked in right away. You're still invested in what's going on, despite no dialogue, no characters whatsoever. It's just this great music and this great scenery from the city. And I just love the way it's played out. I just love the way this entire movie comes together. And after a really, really rotten year for movies that we've had so far in 2011, this was definitely the highlight of the year. And this film, nothing could ever top what Midnight in Paris was able to do in 2011. I love this movie. It works on so many levels. It's got a great heart to it. Characters we can relate to. A great story. Great music. A beautiful, beautiful film that just has a lot of heart to it. It proves that nostalgia can be a great thing no matter what anybody tells you. What more can I say, man? Midnight in Paris, a towering achievement. A towering achievement. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we take a look at 3 big movies opening up on Memorial Day weekend. The most anticipated comedy sequel of the year, no question about it, The Hangover Part 2, of course the sequel to the breakout 2019 of the same name, which was a great movie in its own merits. But what could they do with the second one? Are they going to do something original and new with it, or are they just going to take the Home Alone 2 route? They're going to take the Home Alone 2 route, but is it as good as Home Alone 2? Because Home Alone 2 is still a fun movie. Is The Hangover Part 2 that good? Tune in to find out next time. But we also have one of the best sequels ever. One that should have done so much more than it did at the box office. And that's DreamWorks' Kung Fu Panda 2. And we'll take a look at that one. We'll also take a look at Brad Pitt in... I wanted to make sure it was not Darren Aronofsky as the director here for this movie, but no, it's not him. But it is Terrence Malick's latest film, The Tree of Life, with Brad Pitt in it. Some people might think of it as a polarizing film. What are my thoughts on it? Again, you have to wait till the next episode to find out. That'll be coming up tomorrow on the show, so be on the lookout for that. But with all that said, Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you get updates on when new videos come out. And also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and also check out the last episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.